Hey guys, Omni here. We are back for episode 3 of the Book of Boba Fett, and I thoroughly enjoyed last episode. I thought it was fantastic. And honestly, it's probably up there with some of my favorite Star Wars episodes we've had for anything in quite some time. I really loved the backstory that we got with Boba Fett and how he's been integrated into this tribe with the Tuskens and the culture that we're getting to observe with this particular tribe, their customs, their struggles, their beliefs, and seeing how he, an outsider, comes in and, becomes one of them. And it was just really beautifully handled. The stuff at the present day, pretty interesting. I still don't know exactly who hired the assassin, because everybody's kind of playing a game of pass the buck here. And then we got introduced to some cousins of Jaba from the Hutt cartel, the twins, who came in and was like, hey, with Bib gone, we kind of want this. This is kind of ours. Can we have it? Can we have it back? And Boba's like, no. They brought in Black Chrysanthemum, which is a character I wasn't familiar with, at least until after the fact, after doing a little bit of research and be like, because I was just like, hey, that's just a really cool looking freaking Wookiee. Oh my God. And he is. There's a lot of backstory there that apparently has been filled out in some of the more recent canon comics. And I might have to check those out, actually. But I'm curious to see how that unfolds. But they've definitely brought him into some muscle, and you can definitely feel the tension and the history between those two when they kind of lock eyes. Between Boba and him. So I'm really curious to see how this unfolds. Of course, we also have this, again, this new guild, the Night Wind, the Order of the Night Wind, that this League of Assassins have been hired by somebody. The mayor, even though the assassin claims the mayor hired him when they threatened them with the Rancor pit, the mayor's like, nah, no, go check out the bar. Bar's just like, twins be outside, and the twins showed up. Did the twins hire him? Did somebody else? Did a third party? Did Fennec? Who knows? I don't really know right now. But there's definitely a play happening here that's going on, so I'm curious to see how everything unravels. On top of all that, we've got these syndicates coming together, Boba Fett trying to kind of step his foot into these bounds. We saw that in his survival with the Tuskens, that he also put in like a little bit of a tax in the area with the Tuskens and the Pikes, who were on Tatooine with their little train shipping spice. So he's butting into some people's business. So I'm curious to see, with the power vacuum left from the death of Maul so many years ago when he had formulated the crime syndicate and all that stuff, what had happened to the remnants of that. I know Kira's got a hand and a relationship in Crimson Dawn still, because we've seen that in the Boba Fett comics. So I'm curious to see, and I keep saying that, how this all comes together, who we might see, what other factions might come in. We're going to see some of the Black Sun, or who else? We've seen most of the major crime families up to this point. So, guys, that being said, I really want to dive into this episode and see where things go. So, if you want to see the full-length reaction to this, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member here on the channel, it gives you access as well. You just sync up your own footage with the time code. You can see my reaction to the entire episode. Just help support us over here, help us do what we do, and expand some of the coverage we have and the types of reactions that we do. But, of course, I know not everybody can do that. And a simple way you can support the channel is simply by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing these videos, and giving us help with that YouTube algorithm. That all being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into Chapter 3. Here we go.
And here you see the businesses that were under the protection of the name that should not be spoken.
You can say Jaba. He's dead. He can't hurt you.
I was concerned that you would feel insulted because you felt threatened.
Well, now I am insulted.
Can you just get on with the briefing?
After the sail barge disaster, there was a power vacuum. Under Master Bib's watchful eye, Mos Espa was divided amongst 3 families. Master Bib did not have the power of Jaba, so he relied on uneasy alliances. All of this while lining the pockets of Mayor Mog Shays.
Where does that leave us now?
So that's why he expected a tribute. Bib had been buying off the mayor to feign some type of support.
Somebody else is behind that play.
The Hutts.
Could be.
One of your vassals seeks an audience with you.
I am Lord Appeal. I am a watermonger in the Workers' District.
What is your petition to Lord Fett?
Well, with apologies, sir, no one respects you.
What the fuck?
Ever since Lord Fortuna perished, the streets have turned to chaos. And I am insulted on your behalf at the disrespect these urchins are showing you. I beseech you, Lord Fett, rid the streets of Mos Espa of this scourge, and I will double my tribute to you.
Could be a trap, could be a play, could be something interesting.
Where'd you get that water?
We stole it.
That's a crime.
Is a crime what he charges?
Then farm your own water.
Go back to your palace.
Watch your tongue. I'm the daimyo of this district, and I will bring order.
If you're a daimyo, then why'd you let the Monga charge us a month's wages for a week's war?
Not that we have any wages.
You all should be working.
There is no work, mighty daimyo.
Then you will work for me. What do they owe you?
1,300 credits.
For water? Give them 500.
Why, they owe 1,300.
I heard you the first time. Consider it resolved. If you want to continue to do business in my territory. And cut your prices. Rest of you gather up your gack, follow me.
Wow, look at those speeders. Interesting designs. Okay. The streets of Mos Espa. we gonna flash back here instead of the Tuscans. That's a good shot. I like that.
Where do the Pikes do their business in Mos Eisley?
Ooh. See people actually setting up the pikes, or the, well, spikes, pikes, head on pikes that we saw in Mando.
I've spoken with my superiors on Obadiah, and they are unwilling to pay protection to more than one party. The Kentan Striders have already collected protection money for the same territory you lay claim to.
You don't have to pay that speeder bike gang. We far outnumber them.
We are happy to do business with either party, but we do not want to be taken advantage of by paying protection to both.
Setting them against each other.
You'll not hear from the Nikto-Sen Riders again.
We look forward to our partnership.
Please no. Aww. Did we see the female Tuscan in there? I know we saw the chieftain, but I mean, are we just to assume everybody got taken out? Ah, his first stick. That's so fucked, man. Oh! Whoa! Oh. Jeez, man. Oh. Oh. Oh my god, he's taking such a beating from this thing. Oh, dude. Oh! They don't have a Rancor down there, now they have Black Chrysanthemum. Keep him locked up down there. Gosh, man.
The twins are here. They have brought a gift.
We attack. We make a stage. We attack. We make a stage. Oh, what? Here, have a Rancor. Is that? Yeah, it is. Wow. I did not expect to say Danny Trejo in Star Wars, man, but Robert Rodriguez is on board. It's going to happen.
Promised by who? And what of the Hutts? I offer him back if you renounce all claims to Jaba's legacy on Tatooine.
I wonder who the other syndicate is. So they just give him Chrysanthemum.
Release him.
And the party grows.
Hard feelings. It's just business.
Or maybe not, but that's a token that can come back, repay the gesture.
Why does it just lie there?
It's depressed.
This beast can feel such things.
Rancor are emotionally complex creatures.
Why does it wear blinders?
This one is a calf. It imprints on the first human it sees. Now that we arrived, I will begin his training. They're quite peaceful and less threatened.
I will spend more time with it. I thought they were bred just to fight.
They're powerful fighters, so that is what most know. They form strong bonds with their owners. It is said that the witches of Dathomir even rode them through the forest and fens.
Gives me chills to hear about Dathomir most of the time, man.
You what?
I want to ride it. I've ridden beasts 10 times its size. Teach me.
Is he talking about the holiday special? Dude, if he goes riding a Rancor into town, that would be something.
Is this the spot?
Excuse me, Lord Fett.
Not now, I'm busy.
He remains completely unavailable for at least the next 20 days.
Tell Fennec to suit up. We're not waiting for an appointment.
These retro diner looking speeder bikes.
We're here to see the mayor.
If you wish to continue breathing, I advise you to weigh your next words. carefully.
Actually, I may be able to rearrange some of the appointments that aren't as time sensitive.
That was a bit heavy-handed, don't you think?
Do you want the appointment or not?
Did he just lock the door?
Damn. It's kind of funny because the crew, on top of the the mix of aesthetics we got with the retro looking speeders, but they also give me some massive cyberpunk vibes. Hey. This isn't a very high-speed chase. This guy's literally like in a suit and tie. Go gadget, blowtorch. Is that a mural of Jaba? I want us to go back and see that painting. Ooh, nice. Ooh, there's the jetpack. So it still works.
The mayor's gone. He's working with the Pikes.
Is he?
Just came clean about it.
Are you sure?
I know a Pike when I see one.
How many?
I saw a dozen at least.
They arrived on the Starliner. They're going to war.
Then we will be ready.
Damn. All right. This was definitely a setup episode. Man, I feel so bad about the Tuscans, man. It just like it's just one of those situations where it's just like I wish the people around here had the same insight and respect that Boba Fett has. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like a sad reflection of the real world, honestly, at this point. And all that culture, all that care, all that love, and all that tradition doesn't mean anything. Not if there's a buck to be made. So this Nikto gang was paid off, I guess, in competition, because the Pikes put them at competition against one another because they were paying their protection fees, their taxes to both groups, and they're like, I don't really want to pay both groups, and just set them against each other. The thing is, Boba came in there too late, and the Niktos probably had already touched base with the Pikes by that point, and went to settle their payment issues by taking out their competition, much like Boba was about to do himself. We didn't see the female Tusken, or at least if we did, I didn't catch the body. I know we saw the chieftain. So I went back to just double check that I didn't see the Tusken, the female Tusken that was training Boba Fett with the gaffy stick back there, and I didn't. But while I was doing that, I also stopped to see what that painting that they crashed through was, and it was Jabba, Salacious Crumb, and Boba Fett, and the whole gang in Jabba's throne room. So yeah, it was just a mural painting of a moment from Jabba's palace with Boba Fett actually in it, which is kind of funny. But yeah, this was an interesting setup episode. Seems like we got, it was 3 episodes that I hate to say now that we kind of have a pattern, but we had setup episode with the first one. We had our big beefy episode, setup episode here. Obviously the twins had made another play on his life as well. So there are a lot of things are kind of going, I don't know. We're seeing more of his struggles to keep his grips in on this newfound position he's got. Nobody's respected him, like this moisture monger has kind of brought to his attention, that they're just kind of waiting for him to slip up or get axed off. And we got all this city that, you know, has been divided between all of these different families, groups, gangs, whatever, because that was the only way Big Fortuna could find a way to maintain some semblance of power here, was to make peaces and negotiations with these different groups. Now that he's gone, Jaba, I guarantee you Jaba didn't have any of this issue. Like, it was all this was Jaba's, and nobody put up a fuss when he was there. So now it's like trying to grab a footing into this. And now with Jaba gone, the other syndicates, the other crime lords and stuff have tried to move in on that. We know the Pikes have already been established here from what we've seen from the backstories that we've seen from his flashbacks in the back to tank. And that they've kind of taken root here and now is trying to fill that void and are fighting for that, you know, for this territory. And we still don't know, because there was like that moment last episode where Fennec had brought up, if you want to kill the twins, you have to get approval. And it's like, who do you get approval from? Is there like a head of all of these different syndicates still intact in some form that you need to kind of get permission from to barge in on another syndicate's territory, kind of keeping the peace between all the different groups, much like Maul was attempting to do before his departure from this world. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what all we learn from this, because apparently somebody lied to the twins about their claim to this area. So somebody is setting the twins, or at least had set the twins against Boba Fett. And we learned from the mayor's assistant that the Pikes have been trying to root out Boba Fett out to this point. And he's already got a bit of a grudge with them, between the Nikto gang and then the Pikes, for what happened to the Tusken tribe. And then he met these kids that are running around on the streets of Mos Espa, who aren't able to get work, because things are just out of whack, that they weren't able to get any kind of job. So they're doing what they do, you know, stealing what they need to survive, especially considering that in these desperate times, apparently the price of water is being marked up by these vendors. And Boba Fett's like, you know, the water monger's not wrong. Don't steal shit, but also don't overprice your shit. And hired them on to work. And I like that whole thing, the way he played that scenario. I'm still like a little taken aback by the art design for that gang, because they would fit in, I feel like, on thinking about the aesthetic on Coruscant, they kind of fit in with that kind of vibe, because we've seen people dress similarly there. But I feel like the retro design of those speeder bikes is a little bit much. But then again, let's be real. We exist in a world where Star Wars had a 40s, 50s style diner just at the bottom of Coruscant, selling space burgers or whatever, you know, that Obi-Wan went to. So it's not that far off. So I guess they have this similar kind of aesthetic out there. It's just like, you don't always think about it. It's one of those weird things that just kind of stands out when it shows up, especially in a place like Tatooine. It definitely sticks out like a sore thumb. But it was interesting. We had a moderately speeded chase as they were chasing down the mayor's assistant through the streets of Mos Espa, and until they caught him. But on top of that, you know, after this failed Chrysanthemum attack, you know, that was interesting. We got pulled out of that flashback real quick when Boba Fett got like forced out of his back to tank, and they just went hard with him. But it did seem like he just kind of came in there with no weapons. So he's a Wookiee, so I mean, and he doesn't always need them. He does have the metal injections into his knuckles on top of those electrified brass knuckle gauntlets with the spikes, plus his fangs and his Wookiee strength. But yeah, got in over his head. And, you know, You know, had Boba Fett not recruited that team earlier, he might not have been able to survive that whole encounter, especially caught off guard without being able to get to any of his weapons. He did sink his gaffy stick into him. It was a fun little fight, and then you know, the Gamorrean guards showed up, and well, Chrysanthemum got to taste some green ham. But yeah, it was an interesting episode. Danny Trejo bringing a gift from the twins for this mistake in their attack on Boba Fett, on this misinformation that they were acting on. They seemed pretty laid back. They were like, we don't really want to do this, but because it's kind of like a thing, we need to. But once they figured out that they didn't have to encroach on this at all, they were like, all right, it's bad for business. Sorry, here's some gifts. You can keep the Wookiee if you like. I like that, though, that he released Black Chrysanthemum, though. The way he just kind of like trots off, though, it was kind of funny. And then they give them this Rancor as a gift. So they now finally have a Rancor for the Rancor pit. And he wants to learn to ride it. He's the first thing that this Rancor is imprinted on, so he'll have this connection with it. So I like that they set that up. Again, I guess Danny Trejo is going to be his Beastkeeper. So that's going to be fun if we see more Danny throughout the season. But yeah, just kind of, it was a little bit of a surprise to see him, not going to lie, but I'm happy. I like seeing him pop up and stuff. But we'll see where that goes. I hope there's a scene somewhere in here where Boba Fett does, in fact, ride that Rancor. I want to know the Rancor's name. Because, obviously, the one that was killed, I forget its name, starts with a P, I think. The one that Luke killed. Obviously, at least old canon, is not Mochi. So, I don't know if they've confirmed or not that whether or not the one that died in the current canon was a different Rancor, the same one from the Legends, or if it was Mochi. So I was thinking, well, Mochi, could this be Mochi? Could this be Mochi? I like that they're also, on top of the Tuskens, man, they're like, hey, what you think about Rancors and other creatures? I'm sure they'll lean into. I like that they're deeper than what you expect. They are deeper than the surface layer. It just reminds me of like the culture around like pit bulls that's developed. You know, they're these sweet, endearing creatures that are just put in these situations where they gained and garnered this reputation for being violent, vicious animals because they're just they unfortunately are perfect for what people are looking for dogfighting and stuff like that. And I like that they're this is a similar thing. Rancors have been pitted against other Rancors, other beasts, and used in this manner as like a death trap thing for other people. So like, I like that they've kind of brought that element into this. And he's like, nah, I'm going to love this thing. He's going to love me, and we're going to feed the crap out of this thing. So here we go. I don't know. I like the episode, but we'll see where it goes, guys. What do you think of the episode? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Feel free to join our Discord. We can talk about it there as well. If you want to see the full-length reaction, check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member here on the channel, gets you access as well. And speaking of, before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends. Manny Sherritt, Ryan Kara, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yori Korskov, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, Jeffrey Hale, and Nate Prouty. Thank you guys so much for your support. But that's it for this episode, guys. And I'll see you all next week with the next episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And before we go, may the Force be with you always. Take care, everybody.